everyone. Welcome. Come on in. I'm Reverend Dr. Kat, your host.
And I'm Joan Kazmarzik. Come on in, pull up a chair and join us.
Come on in. You have anything else you want to say, Joan?
Well, today we are talking about Chakra 7.
Yep, Chakra 7.
So
Yeah.
we made it to the top.
Yeah. So when we do the show, I go through all of the chakras, 1 through 7, and then I apply them into various aspects of our lives that are going on and a kind of a communal level for all of us to keep the show fresh and relevant and talk about different topics. And who knows, sometime maybe when all of this is over, I'll be able to get out a little bit more and do some more interviews. But right now, I'm sticking with this basically like education, entertainment, programming. I do hope you enjoy it, though, you know. But in the beginning of the show, I brought the crystals and crystals outside and rubies here. He's back in here. See? In the beginning of the show, I have the align, breathe, connect, and direct. I came up with that as your ABCs, you know, of life. And in every chakra that we're working with, those elements hold true. You want to align into the energy of it. You want to breathe into that, and we've had breathing techniques before.
Yes, we have.
And you want to connect. So you make a connection to that energy, and you go, okay, I'm now connecting to that energy and all that that energy represents. And I'll talk more and more about the chakras.
There's so much, energy, so much information to share on each one.
Well, yeah, it's infinite, quite honestly. And then in the final one, which is D, which is your directions, you know, what you do with what you have and where you're putting it, the directions of that. I'm going to let Joan take care of crystal this time. And so align, breathe, connect, and direct. When we're aligning, we're in a position of agreement with it. You know, you make an alliance with something. You're in alignment, has to do with adjusting. Like right now, I'm getting in alignment with, you know, crystal being in the room. And to be fully aligned means to be developed to your fullest degree. So I think one of the aspects about aligning is, you know, that we go through each one of our chakras and we're aligning each one of them. So as I said, you're getting into an adjusting of your seat to see, well, okay, what is going on in this part of my chakra? Now, for someone who's just watching this show for the first time, they may sound that this sounds a little lengthy, but for those viewers who have been watching this show for a couple of years, it's just a reinforcement of the concept of the beginning. And we're changing the beginning of the show too, so the introduction will look much freshened up. That's from the beginning almost.
That is.
So I just wanted to go over that a little bit, and I will go over that more. I mean, I only took about 3 minutes to talk about it, so it's not that much. But just understanding that with the aligning, you know, to each energy level, and you may find it doesn't even resonate with you, and you don't want to align to it. You know, whatever I may be talking about that night. That's okay. You know, there'll be another one that you may find that actually vibrates to what you're going through or you're dealing with. But basically, we've been focusing on the cultural, social area that we've all been dealing with and how we're going to come out of this in a very positive way. And so, you know, I guided everyone through the years of how to stay positive during this time. And now we're at Chakra 7. So as I said to Joan, when we're working with the chakras, we always want to start with 1. And Joan, do you remember why?
Because it's our grounding. That's where we start.
And
And you have to have a good base before you can go further.
Because
Because if you don't have a good foundation, you're gonna fall.
it won't
It won't
last.
work. It won't last. It won't work. Just like when you're building anything, or building a house or anything like that, your foundation has to be strong.
Right. So foundation is necessary, and so many of the books that you probably read about, have said don't focus so much about getting up to the chakra 7, where you're sitting in this kind of seat of high consciousness. Focus on your first chakra, so that you can develop the strength to build the other chakras upon it, and then have a strong internal energetic network. So 7 is very fundamental to us. It's like completion. You think the 7 days of the week, and this is Sunday. We can say happy birthday to Joan because it's her birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
But yeah, the 7 days of the week and Sunday, which is what this is. This is the day after the snowstorm. It's January 30th. So the 7 continents, the 7 chakras, and the 7 levels of consciousness. So I thought, well, 7 is an interesting number for us to talk about, and all about numbers. You think, well, everything that has to do with numbers, and 7 is a number that is said to be symbolic of the human's inner needs. To find depth, and to find meaning, and to find connection. Right. So 7 is after you have your survival, your first chakra, and you build up your chakras into your creative, and then you build it up again into your will and your solar plexus source. And then you got your heart, which is in the middle, which keeps you, open and heart-centered. Then you get up to your throat, where you can speak your truth. And then, as last week, the third eye, the pineal gland, where you have your inner eye, which helps you to get that inner wisdom, so that you can bind that all together, and you come out with a more holistic approach to everything in life. And when you get up to the 7th chakra, that's kind of like the shift towards the deeper meaning of life. And if you find that, I don't know if you remember the show where I talked about kind of where most people are staying, and they say they're woke, but you've got a couple of levels of consciousness, the first 3, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about that
No,
to the viewers?
no, just you were saying, that it starts out, yes, they, like you were saying, they woke up. People said they woke up, but there's 7 different layers, I believe you said.
Exactly. So again, that number 7 shows up.
Right.
So yeah.
And most people aren't anywhere near number 7.
The thing is it's really hard to get into the deeper meaning of life when you're fighting for survival.
That's true.
And that's what, that's kind of the time and the way that the culture tries to keep the general population in this kind of angst state, but fed with the sugar and reprogrammed materials, whether it's reprogrammed cereal, reprocessed and repackaged, same thing, reprogrammed and reprocessed. Politicians, you're not going to get any changes, you're just getting a different outfit. Oh, she's not wearing a banana outfit now, she's wearing a polka dotted dress, whatever.
Yeah.
Same person, same everything,
Same story.
People can change, but it really does take a lot to change. And as you're changing, you're being tested. So, and a lot of times when a person's a part of a certain tribe or an institution as part of their consciousness, say they're part of an achievement consciousness, the decisions that they make are going to be determined upon the level of consciousness they are. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the show today. So, you may be able to tap into yourself and see kind of where you stand in that spectrum, which could be a little interesting, can be a little off-putting too, but I heard something and I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool, because we are always doing, right? Achieving, striving, right? But when you think about life on planet Earth, whether it's plant life or animal life, do you ever hear bird being, cat being, lion being? Do you ever hear flower being or moon being?
No, you don't.
The only being that we hear and we've put a language towards is the human being. So, we might have something to learn about what it is for us to be, because we've been striving and in this kind of paradigm of master-slave for so many centuries. You don't need to be born into a certain, your dad was a blacksmith and now you're a blacksmith. We have it kind of a little bit packaged a little bit differently, but it's still the same, see? So yeah, it's very hard to get to that deeper meaning of life. And so when I was searching out the numbers and just, I'm so fascinated with the numbers and their meaning, because the whole universe is based on numbers, and it's, the whole, cosmic numerology of the planet. Even when we communicate out into the universe, we're using the digit, the number 01, 01, 1. So anyway, I said, isn't that interesting? Because we think about numbers, and Pythagoras. Remember Pythagoras? You always hear Pythagoras, the father of mathematics, right?
Yep.
Darn it. Don't we start to get it when we start to really understand that just because somebody's saying something doesn't mean it's necessarily true, and that history is written by the victors? Because the truth of the matter is that Pythagoras did not discover pi, nor did he really engage in math at all. It's highly questionable. And supposedly, he discovered it in 495 BC, but in actuality, Archimedes of Syracuse, who lived between 287 and 212 BC, was the greatest mathematician of the ancient world, and he discovered it. So don't you feel a little hey, I read that in a book and that's what they've been feeding me, but it's not the truth. So I think part of our being here is to, darn it all, start to be here and uncover some of these things that keep getting hidden by the victors and the leaders, who would be plumb quite as happy if you'll just continue to pick up their stuff for them and serve them. Thank you very much. Okay? And you should be happy for it, too. And what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that kind of concept of work with consciousness, and I thought, most people do enjoy work. I mean, most people gain a great deal of a feeling of pleasure and joy, satisfaction from working. If we didn't have a job, I guarantee people would find something to do, because it's part of our nature, of our human being nature, is to want to work and build and things. I don't think that that's the problem. I don't think that it's people don't want to work. I think that it's people don't want to work under these conditions, given the nature of our consciousness at this time in history.
I think you're right.
And you can repackage it in another color pantsuit, but it ain't going to matter. See? So, we know that. And now that we're woke up, like I said, don't wake up a bear. Oh my God, they wake up, they're so hungry, and they find out all the stuff that they didn't have, and they just got really angry. So that's what happens to humans. It's a part of a natural flow. Don't be upset with yourself if you're angry. You probably should be. They say fear. Oh, you shouldn't be afraid. Well, yeah, I think you should be afraid of things. I think that fear is a healthy emotion that was given to us human beings for not only our survival, but for our continuation.
Yeah.
I don't think that when you have a person standing in front of you and they're going to shoot you with a gun or do something, that you can see that they're going to do something that isn't going to be healthy for you to be afraid and say, I'm not going to do this, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's not false evidence appearing real. You see that all the time out there in the social media. You know, they take these things and they try to revamp it for you, and then they feed it to you in these new flashy pictures and new songs and new this and new that, and you're new, and it sounds good and it looks good. So yeah, fear is false evidence appearing real. That's a good acronym, right? Well, what if it's real? And what if it's not false? So
Imagine that.
you have to be able to decide for yourself what is real, because a lot of stuff that isn't real is being presented, Pythagoras, as real.
Yeah.
And when do you find out? That was 587 BC, okay. And the original was 287 BC. And here's what? 2022 AD. So those are just a little bit of tidbits. I like to throw those in. That's my little spice. I throw these into the shows all the time, so viewers who know me know that, you know, you're going to come here, you're going to get some stuff. You know, you may have to wait until you get about 10 or 15 minutes into the video, because I'm not going to package it with the big show in the front and go, oh, here's this, watch this. I'm going to actually invite you to come in and sit for 25 to 30 minutes with me,
But it'll be worth it.
while I do my professorial and ministerial stuff. And if you like it, then you come by and you go, you know, I got a little angry at her, but that energized me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a catalyst kind of thing. Okay, so I said align, breathe, connect, direct. We've talked about how things are repackaged for us. These are all parts of our waking up consciousness. What is the deeper meaning of life? You know? Is it to just keep receiving the same Fruit Loop and say to your children and your children's children, well, are we past that point of repetitious cycling in our development as human beings? Maybe, maybe not. But here at Your Best You, what I invite everyone to do is to find that kind of Goldilocks zone of grace and peace and joy and hope and faith and all those good things that are elements of love and light that can help to have the best life that you have right now, here and now. Because guess what? Someone just died. Someone else just died. Someone else just died. And guess what else? Someone else was born. Someone else was born. Someone else was born. And life is going on in this. So if you're living in the past, you're not in the now. If you're looking towards the future, you're not in the now. So what does it mean to be a human being? In the now, in this moment, and still be moving forward.
You have to embrace it.
You have to breathe, you have to align, you have to connect, you have to direct. Very simple. They're just 4 steps. But taking that little bit of a moment to remember, you are the love and light. You are divine. You are unique. You came here with a divine mission. And when you can really digest that and let that become a part of you, your life now has a deeper meaning. Okay. A lot of moms get lost in, I was a mother. And you know, it's a beautiful thing to be a mother.
Right.
But it's not maybe your hope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They say, oh my God, what did I do?
They get lost in that.
So even for mothers and even for fathers, you know, this kind of concept of finding yourself, your being, and yes, you're a mother, or yes, you're a doctor, or you're a teacher, or you're a healthcare worker, or you do these things. You do these things. You may take care of a whole nest of them, you know, little ones. But at the same time, what about you?
Yeah. What are you doing for you?
How are you being?
How are you being?
Right.
You.
Exactly.
You are.
Because people define
You're not
themselves
just-
by
right.
what they do. But
Right,
that's
you're
not
not just-
being.
Right. That you're not just one thing. You're not just one thing. You are a conglomeration and a collaboration of so many parts of your life. You're not just a mother, a teacher, a doctor.
There was a
Whatever.
time when society would put us in the category of such and such of a mode. But what I'm suggesting is I think that we've leapt beyond that. And this particular pandemic and this particular episode that's happened has given us the opportunity to take a look at that and to say, wait a second, we woke. Okay, so I went to one of my old books, Scholar Cat, Changes of the Mind, A Holonomic Theory of the Evolution of Consciousness. I like to read. I read a lot. And, I read old stuff that I had right now. I don't care. As long as I'm reading, and you get new information every time you read anyway. And I write, a lot too. But, okay, we woke 7 levels of consciousness. 7 levels of consciousness. There was a Newtonian time. And that Newtonian time, there were all these Newtonian rules of existence. But, what happened was we got this new kind of theory, holonomic theory. It's more inclusive. And so this particular author came up with a really interesting breakdown of these different levels of consciousness that I thought I'd share with you, because it does in a way mirror what I'm saying. So she had, the first 2 are reactive and naive, and those are basically, kind of prenatal, which isn't a Newtonian concept at all. And then you've had the egocentric, and then you have a conformist consciousness. Now, a conformist consciousness person, if that's the level they're at, if you say to them, you must conform, of course they're going to conform. They're a conformist, right? An achievement a person is going to look at life as more of like, the conformist looks at life as good and bad. You have 2 choices, either the good choice or the bad choice. Does that sound like what's going on right now? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's, a level of consciousness that we may be at as a planet of human beings right now. Achievement consciousness looks at things with infinite options. The correct one is the one that secures the greatest advantage because I'm trying to achieve, right? An affiliative consciousness looks at things as what does the peer group believe? I'm affiliated with this peer group. I'm going to believe what they believe, see? Because I want to fit in to my group. All right. An authentic consciousness, again, is also infinite. But for them, the best of the choice is depending on the circumstances of the moment. So they're not into a group consciousness or what somebody else says you're supposed to do, or because I'm part of this affiliation, I'm going to do this. They're more, well, wait a second, given these circumstances, what's the best to do? Because I'm going to be my authentic self, and that's fluid. And then the transcendent is basically, infinite. And that's where you get out into infinite and unity. And the reason why I bring that up is because, as Joan was saying, we used to do things a certain way. We also used to believe that you didn't have any kind of consciousness after death, except we know that that's not true.
We know that.
See, so we're evolving as human beings, and loving ourselves and being kind to ourselves enables us to then pass that on. So I think the challenge of this particular time in history that we're in is our ability to, say to ourselves, I'm doing this the best that I can do it. Or, look, I'm achievement oriented and I'm going to get what I'm going to get out of it. And if I do this and it gives me more money, I'm going to take it. Okay. I'm more up in the, me,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
so, it's hard because I'm not going to be a conformist. I'm not going to be an affiliative, I'm not into the achievement. I already overachieved and, and there were a lot of reasons why I did that too. So in the evolution of every human being, we're all individually evolving. And then collectively, within whatever group we're associated with, that's evolving. And then beyond that, it's like an organism, a big organism that just keeps. And then there's the sense that there's a kind of a cosmic consciousness. So as our consciousness has evolved, the consciousness, not just of the universe, because the universe is small. The universe is what? My universe, or the universe is which universe, you know? So consciousness expands. Well, that was a lot. I said it was going to be a professorial kind of class type of information, but I brought the crystals in, which helped to enlighten the area, I believe. And I brought some of my little stones in, which I think are cute. I'll bring them up because they're cute.
They are.
It's oh, you can't see it? I forgot. That's so funny. You know, I keep forgetting with the camera because I come up and go, oh, look at the lettering, and I don't have the flip for the letters.
Yep.
I try to get all the technology. You know, I love the technology, but you know,
Well, you
everything costs money, and you know.
You can just tell them what's written on them. I know.
Yeah, live, laugh, love. Huh, Crystal? Yeah. So yeah, I would say we're coming up to the end of the show, and I mean it's a lot, but it was really in a nutshell. Would you say what? What would you say in a nutshell to the viewers?
In a nutshell,
Yeah,
it was
with
very well. It took you. They should have learned a lot about the new consciousness.
Yeah. You know what I would say in a nutshell? Dang, they keep telling us lies. Pythagoras wasn't really the father of mathematics. You know,
but not only that, but
and Einstein stole Tesla's stuff. Dang,
just take a minute and find out what the truth is.
You can't, because guess what? If the truth is dependent upon the data that we're being provided, okay?
Yeah.
And that's the only data that you're being provided. Tell me where you're going to find the kernel of truth.
Yeah, then you'd have to. Yeah.
So this is the chronudging, perplexing, confusing, wowzamanging place that we're in as a society, and as as those who are in control are just trying to find a way through. Like, hey, look, don't worry about what we did before. You know, we're living in the now. Don't you love it how they take that and use it?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, they always take your stuff and use it for the,
But,
I love
but
you
all
guys.
you can do, yeah.
We gotta go. You know what I mean. It's that time. It's been quick and fast, but hopefully delightful. See you next time.
See you next time.
Chakra 1.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye.
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.